Juicer, NFL draft style. Here on No Poll. Welcome back, Braden Reed, our contestant. Nick, it's so good to see you. Nick Luttrell over here.
Good to be here.
Former sports director.
Thank you.
Great man. But, I mean, we'll figure out what the takes are in just a little bit. I'm Ben Spector. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good
All right.
takes.
NFL draft juicer style. You guys know the rules?
Always.
Answer questions, get points. The one with the most points at the end wins. Very simple.
Which will be me. Yeah, got it.
Yep, you got it? You good? All right. Player to most likely sneak into the first round. 1 point. Braden, we start with you.
I'm going to go Texas wide receiver Xavier Worthy. And look, I just want to preface this. I don't feel good about this at all. I see a lot of John Ross back in 2017. For those who don't know, Xavier Worthy broke the combine record for the 40-yard dash time at a 4.21. And that's honestly what I think is getting him to this spot. Nick, I'm not going to ask you how much you weigh, but I think Xavier Worthy is lighter than all of us. He gets knocked around a little bit. He has that deep speed, and I get it. People fall in love with the speed, right? Ricky Bobby, he wants to go fast. That's what you're getting here with Xavier Worthy. But I think about the law of diminishing returns, right? You're getting 4.35 with Malik Neighbors, 4.34 with Brian Thomas. Oh. How much are you really losing there from 4.3 to 4.2? I don't think that's that much. Xavier Worthy's going to sneak into the first round because of the speed. I don't love it.
Can't teach it, though, Nick.
I've got Keon Coleman,
okay.
Florida State wide receiver. I think he's going to sneak into the first round in the NFL draft. He's a guy from Florida State. He actually started his career at Michigan State. Sophomore season had a breakout year. Over nearly 800 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns, transferred to the Seminoles. First team All-ACC, first team All-Purpose yards, first team all special teams. He's a guy who can do it from all around the field. He can out-jump your team's best defensive back, make a one-handed catch, stiff-arm the guy, and then run past the safety and score a touchdown. I want this guy on my team in the first round.
Nick, take a deep breath. I know you're very passionate about Keon Coleman.
Hey, we all watched him play in person.
He's a great player. I'll say this. When one of the contestants says at the beginning of his answer, quote, I'm not really sure how I feel about this, it's hard to give him the point. Nick, you get the point here. Keon Coleman, I love the wide receiver. You talked about speed. I like speed too, but Keon Coleman's just more of a complete receiver than Xavier Worthy is. Yeah. So if we're going to debate between Worthy and Coleman, I like Coleman.
Look, I agree with you guys, right? I don't feel good about Xavier Worthy getting in there.
That's why you're not getting the point.
But it's not up to me. It's up to these NFL GMs.
That's why you're not getting the point. All right. Player most likely to fall out of the first round, 2 points. We start with Nick.
I'm swinging for the fences here. Okay. You guys talked about him earlier. I'm going Laiatu Latu. I'm going to make sure to pronounce that right. An edge rusher for UCLA. He's a player who, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why, okay? 3 reasons ChatGPT summarized just for you, Ben Spector.
Did you put this into ChatGPT?
I didn't. I made it myself.
Good. I just want to make sure.
First reason, he played in the Pac-12. Braden, you want to tell me who's the best team in the Pac-12 next year? There's not going to be one because the Pac-12 is dead in the grave, just like your juicer record after this. The second reason why this player is going to be not drafted in the first round, a guy named Dallas Turner. You talked about him earlier.
You're right.
What position or what conference does he play in?
The SEC.
He plays in the SEC, much better than a Pac-12 that is non-existent. The third reason, and I'll be more serious for this run, he did have a serious injury that put him out the 2020 and 2021 seasons. And I think when NFL GMs, when NFL scouts look at a guy who has some injuries, that's a problem. And I don't know if he's going to get drafted in the first round because of that.
All right, definitely a home run type of hit. Here we go.
So you talk about Laiatu Latu's medicals. Those are a problem. You know a guy with maybe worse medicals? Michael Penix Jr. This is a guy who had 4 season-ending injuries in his college career, which, by the way, was 6 years long, started at Indiana, played 4 years there, tore the same ACL twice, 2 shoulders. These NFL GMs, they get terrified by medical red flags like this. Also played with the best offensive line in the NFL. 3 receivers that are going to go in the first 2 days of the NFL draft. I mean, could you find a better situation? And his offensive coordinator is now in the NFL. His head coach is now at Alabama. So much went right for Michael Penix. Also 24 years old. Ben and I talked about it. Old quarterbacks do not tend to succeed in the NFL. I don't think NFL teams are going to like him.
I mean, age is just a number. Braden Fisk is 24 years old, and he's my guy now. So
apparently,
Gene Daniels is 23.
A lot of guys.
Well, you know who's my guy for this answer, for this question? Braden Reed. No, Braden Reed. Braden Reed gets the point. Latu's like one of the best edge rushers in the class. Like I put him at number 2. Turner 1, Latu 2.
That's fine.
Braden 2 points.
That's fine.
So it all comes down to this. 3 points for this final question. There's 7 rounds in this draft. we've talked a lot about the first round. Let's move past that. Most impressive late round prospect, somebody that's not expected to go in the first round. Braden, we start with you.
Well, we're going late. I'm going a little bit off the board here. I'm going to the Ivy League. I'm going Yale offensive tackle Kieran Amagaji. Ben talked about it a few minutes ago. You love these hog mollies in the trenches, right? You want that prototypical size, and that's what Amagaji is going to give you. 6'5", 323. That's a guy you want at offensive tackle. He was an unranked prospect coming out of high school. That's why he's at Yale. That's why he's in the Ivy League. Put on some talent, figured it out. First team All-Ivy in 2022, anchored an offense that led the Ivy League in rushing and total offense. Look, the Ivy's not great, but here I am betting on the upside. He could go even higher too, had he stayed healthy this past season. Tore his quad after 4 games this year, but I love the upside with Amagaji. NFL scouts always say it. If you can play, they'll find you. I think they might have done that with Kieran Amagaji.
All right, Nick.
I'm going, and you want to talk about a sleeper pick? You talk about Dwight McGlothern. You're probably like, who is that guy? He's a defensive back from the University of Arkansas. Woo Pig Suey. I'm calling the Hogs for this guy. He may not be a star player on your team, but he's a guy who's going to be maybe 3rd round, maybe 4th round defensive back out of the University of Arkansas. He's got a ball hawk mentality, sticky hands, sticky fingers for those interceptions, 8 career interceptions on throughout his past few seasons with Arkansas, with LSU. He's a tall, lanky guy. You remember Andre Cisco for Syracuse a few seasons ago? He's just like Andre Cisco.
Wow.
Very similar to him. Cisco was drafted in the 3rd round by the Jaguars a few seasons ago. I think McGlothern is going to be that type of guy who's possibly drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, but I think he's a guy who you're going to want to have on your team.
Did you ever shake Dwight's hand? You said sticky hands, sticky fingers.
No, I saw him spin a basketball in his hand one time.
Did it stop? Like, did it not spin?
No, it kept spinning.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little misleading.
Yeah, I guess it is.
I'm just saying.
But, yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is there any bias with that last pick at all?
Good. He's from Arkansas.
Well, I am from Arkansas.
And an Arkansas fan.
I am an Arkansas fan. I guess...
You're supposed to say no. The fact that you're taking
He wants to say yes.
I want to be truthful. I want to be a truthful person because I feel confident I'm about to drink.
Whoa, touching the trophy.
That's like putting your hands on the Stanley Cup before you win it. You can't do that.
Whoa,
I'm about
all
to
right.
drink it. I'm very confident.
jinxed it
Look,
now.
you guys
jinxed it
both
now.
had great arguments. There's a lot to unpack here internally. And look, it's a tough decision, but Kieran Amagaji as a hog molly look, teams find the best offensive linemen. You see a bunch of offensive linemen that are drafted so late and have immense success in their NFL careers. Braden wins the 3 points. Braden wins the juicer. Braden is juiced up. Is he about to get juiced up?
Apparently I have to.
This is going to be a little juicy. Well, you can finish that. That's okay. It's okay. I'm not. You know what? Drink as much as you want. Drink to your comfort level.
My
all
gosh.
right. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
It's done. All right. That's it for the juicer, but don't go anywhere. One more stop here on the NFL Draft Show on No Pulp. We got our player spotlights and our final words. All that. Stay with us.